You know, when we think about the world's greatest warriors, legends whose names are just etched into history, a few probably come to mind. But today, we're going to talk about one man, a samurai, whose story is just on another level entirely.
So let's just ask it straight up. Who is the greatest samurai of all time? It's a huge question, right? And people have been debating it for centuries. But when you really dig into the history, when you look at the stories and the records, one name just keeps rising to the top.
And that name is Miyamoto Musashi. This guy, he wasn't just a great samurai. He's widely considered to be the undisputed master. His entire life was this incredible testament to pure skill, brilliant strategy, and an absolutely unbreakable will.
And the numbers, they're just staggering. We're talking about more than 60 duels. And these weren't practice matches, these were life-or-death battles. And you want to know how many he lost? 0. Not a single one. Let that sink in for a second. He was completely undefeated. But see, he was so much more than just a fighter. He was an artist, and the sword was his instrument. His skills were considered completely peerless, and his courage, well, that became the stuff of legend. In every single way, he was the complete warrior.
So what was his secret? How could one person be so unbeatable? Well, it wasn't just about raw talent. Musashi was an innovator, a revolutionary who completely changed the game of how you even fight with a sword.
Okay, so at the time, the standard for every samurai was to master the single long sword, the iconic katana. That's just how it was done. But Musashi, he looked at that tradition and thought, there's a better way. He developed a style that used two swords at the same time, the long katana and the shorter companion sword, the wakizashi. This was a total game changer.
And this technique, his two-sword style, wasn't just for show. It gave him an incredible advantage in a fight. I mean, think about it. You can attack and defend at the same time. You can create openings that a single sword fighter just literally cannot counter. It was unorthodox, it was deadly, and it was uniquely Musashi.
Now, every great legend has that one defining moment, that one story that seals their legacy forever. For Musashi, it was a legendary duel against his greatest rival, a true clash of titans.
And his opponent was no pushover. We're talking about Sasaki Kojiro, a master swordsman in his own right, famous for his incredibly long sword and a killer technique. This was a battle between two of the absolute best swordsmen in all of Japan.
So the stage was set, April 13, 1612, on the remote island of Ganryujima. This is where they would finally meet. And with legacy itself on the line, this was going to be a battle for the ages.
And this is where the story just gets incredible. Musashi's genius is on full display. First, he shows up hours late, a classic psychological move to mess with his opponent. Then he steps off the boat without his swords. Instead, he's holding a wooden sword that he carved from a spare oar on the way to the island. He was making a statement. My mind is the real weapon here. And with that piece of wood, he faced Kojiro's legendary steel and won. One single strike, and it was over.
This incredible victory wasn't just about being a better fighter. No, it was the ultimate lesson in Musashi's entire philosophy. It was a masterclass in strategy over sheer strength.
What Musashi proved that day was that a better strategy will always beat a better weapon. See, that wooden oar he carved, it wasn't random. He intentionally carved it to be longer than Kojiro's famously long sword, completely neutralizing his opponent's greatest advantage. Musashi didn't just show up to fight, he showed up and changed the rules of the fight. It was all about intellect over steel.
And really, that leaves all of us with a pretty fascinating question to chew on, doesn't it? In our own lives, in our jobs, in the challenges we all face, what are the modern battles we're fighting where we think we need a better weapon, when really the victory lies in choosing to fight with a completely different one?